Hello there, in this tutorial we are going to be talking about spinning. Now spinning, in my opinion, is the passive income secret sauce. So this is what makes it possible for you to earn a passive income using AutoTweet. Before we get into this, I want to explain a little bit about why spinning is so important. But first of all, what exactly is it? Well, spinning enables you to have a tweet published to Twitter that is different every time it is published. Now, because of this, you can create a list of tweets, like a campaign full of tweets. You can have those being published to Twitter on a rotation. So you publish one after the other until you reach the end, then you loop back to the beginning and do the same thing again. Each time it publishes the tweet, it is completely different, so therefore Twitter never get upset about duplicate content, and they really don't like duplicate content. So if you were to tweet the same thing over and over again, pretty soon they are going to suspend your account. But thanks to spinning, you can tweet the same tweets over and over again, but each time AutoTweet sends them to Twitter for you, they are completely different. This means that you can spend the next 30 or 45 minutes creating a list of tweets that you can then have published to Twitter on a loop forever. Now, if these tweets are promoting affiliate products that make you money, that means that you can do the work once and get paid forever. And that is the beauty of passive income. So we're going to jump into this. Before we get started, we don't need to know anything. So if this is the first video that you're watching in the training section, that's completely fine. You don't need anything else before this one. So we need to do a couple of things. First of all, we need to create an account with Spinnachief. Now, Spinnachief is a piece of software that you can use to do the spinning for you. It is completely free. They do have a paid version. I use the free version and it's fine. So I recommend just going with the free one. If you want to pay for it, that's entirely up to you. But we're going to have a little look at their website. We'll get back to this page in just a moment, but when you first arrive at Spinnachief, when you click on the link beneath this video, it looks like this. So it's going to have banners pop up saying 50% off and things like that, only 20 minutes left. Yeah, every time you go, that 20 minutes has reset itself. So if you ever do buy this, make sure you wait for one of those promotions. Scroll down the page a little way and you'll see these two links. Download the free desktop version. If you're on Windows, you want that one, or register the free Mac version, the free web version. Now this version is the only version that works on Mac. So if you're on Mac, you've got to go with this. If you're on Windows, you can choose either one. I am on a Mac, so I have to go with the register free web version. You have to pop in your email address and then you can gain access to their software. It is completely free. Once you're in, it will look like this. Now it's going to ask you for your serial number when you first log in. Just click on cancel. That's just for people that have the paid version. So this is the interface. We're going to be using this in just a few moments, but before we get to that, I'm going to explain a little bit about what spinning is and show you some examples of what spinning can do for you, and then we'll come back to this and we'll see exactly how you do it. So let's pop back over here and we're going to go on basic spinning. Right, you've had a sneaky peek at this already because I had this page open. What we have right here is a campaign that I've set up. I've created a promotion just to show you how spinning works. Now my promotion is simply the tweet, good morning, and then an emoji of a sun. What I've done with this is I have spun just the word morning and the emoji. I've put in a few examples, and when I click on the spin button just here, it's going to show you those examples, and it will be completely random. Sometimes it's going to choose the same one, sometimes it will be a different one. So we're just spinning one word. So spinning, kind of like, it's almost like saying we're having some options available, and the system will choose one at random. So I'll show you this, and then I'll show you exactly how it works. So now we have good day. Good day again, good morning. This is my favourite. Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen. Good day, good luck, good job. Good King Wenceslas again. Good day, once again, good night. We also have good luck, and in there somewhere is good times. And there we go, there's good times. So there's not many, but there's a few variations in there. So this is spinning in action. That is just spinning one word. So we do get quite a lot of repetition. Now that could be a tweet. You could send that to Twitter as a tweet. It's not going to really do you any good. But if you send that to Twitter as a tweet, each time it's published, it would choose a random one of those options. So let's have a little look behind the scenes and see how that works. So if I edit this promotion, you can have a look at the code that makes this work. So we have the word good, that always appears. That's going to be every single time that this tweet is published, it's going to say good. What comes next are these options. Now we have, I'll zoom in so you can see, we have an opening curly bracket, then we have lots of options, and then we have a closing curly bracket. So our options are inside those curly brackets. And as you've probably noticed already, they are separated by these straight lines. These are called pipes. So we have an option, a pipe, another option, another pipe, another option, another pipe, so on and so forth. And once we've finished all our options, we have a closing curly bracket. So this is how the system knows what is an option and what isn't. Because good, which is on the outside of the curly brackets, that's not an option. It's always going to do that. So that's the way this works. Now, when I first started doing this, I didn't know where the pipe was on my computer keyboard. I didn't know how to get that. So if you don't know that either, I can't really tell you because all computer keyboards are different. Mine's actually a Spanish keyboard on this computer. So I can't tell you where it is on your particular keyboard. But if you need to, you can select a pipe and then you can copy it. I'm using the keyboard shortcut to do that. And then you can paste it. So if you don't know where to get that from, you can just copy and paste them. Same with the curly brackets as well. So when we use the spinning software, there might be situations where you need to put these pipes and these curly brackets in yourself, but normally it's going to do that for you. So let's zoom back out. So that is spinning one word. There is going to be a lot of reputation. There is going to be a lot of repetition. So you want to spin more than one word. You want to do a tweet and spin the entire tweet. So I'm going to go back to my campaigns. I'm going to show you another campaign now where I am doing a lot more spinning. So we are now on much more advanced spinning, and it's called nested spinning. So spinning within spinning. And I'll show you how this works. This is a real life example. This is something that I'm currently using AutoTweet to publish to my Twitter account. So I'm showing you the way I really do use this. So I'm going to go with my ClickBank products. And I've got one in here that I've kind of separated it out so you can see it. You'll see what I mean when we jump in. So I'll view my promotions, and it's the fourth one. So this is the one I want to show you. But before I jump in, I'd just like to explain what we've got here. Each one of these promotions is promoting a different product. So this is product 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's going to send these promotions out to my Twitter account. I think I've got it set. Let me just have a little look at my campaign details. I've got it set to go out every 2 days. I can change that to any of these options, but every 2 days it sends out one of these promotions. So this one first, and then working through them sequentially until it reaches the end, and then it just goes back to the beginning. They all promote different products. And within each promotion is a lot of variations on what it's actually going to say about that product before it sends that to Twitter. So I'll tell you a bit about my workflow. What I do first of all is I find a product that I want to promote, and I usually get those from ClickBank. Now, if you've got no idea who ClickBank are, don't worry, there is another video that talks all about affiliate marketing and ClickBank and all that stuff, so make sure you watch that one. So I choose a product I want to promote, and then I look at that product's sales page. And I will then take maybe 4 or 5 different things out of that sales page that I think would make a really good tweet to promote that product. So I take those out of the sales page, and I have my system spinning those 4 or 5 options, and then it's got my link. So every time it gets published to Twitter, it's going to do one of those options, one of the 4 or the 5. Also, it's going to do a random and completely unique variation of each of those. So each one of those is also spun itself. That's what nested spinning is. It spins within spinning. I know this is getting a little bit complicated, but it will make much more sense when I actually show you inside. So if I jump into this actual this actual promotion, and show you it, I can show you some examples of what might get published to Twitter. Now remember, all of these are promoting the same product. This promotion is just promoting one product, it's just doing it in lots of different ways. So the first one is positive thinking by itself will never manifest the success you desire. I'm not going to read the second section out, it's basically saying check out this video, and then we've got my affiliate link. The next one could be saying discover what is stopping you from the success you desire. So there's a couple of things that are similar in there, but it is quite different, so Twitter will be very happy. Next we have the Millionaires Quiz. Will you be super rich? I quite like that. Next we've got again Millionaires Quiz. Discover if you will be rich. So you can see how this one and the previous one are quite similar. Now the way I get these is I have a look at the sales page, and as I said, I grab whatever I think is going to be a good tweet. So that could be the main headline from the sales page, could be one of my options. Another option might be the subheading from the sales page, and then another option might be one of the bullet points or something else that it says somewhere on the sales page. So that's where I get like my ideas from. I get about 4 or 5 of them, and then I spin those, and then I put them all together in one big nested spin. So let's have a look at a couple more. Again, this is very, very similar. So sometimes it churns out one which is very similar. It is completely random. Do you have the mindset of the rich? Take this short quiz to find out. Finally, discover precisely what is preventing you from being a millionaire. Do this free 1-minute quiz. Millionaire Mind Quiz. Are you going to be rich? This one has popped up quite a few times. Finally, uncover what is stopping you from being a millionaire. Do this free 60-second quiz. How to think like the super wealthy. Only the rich know this potent secret. So you can see how they are different. Sometimes it comes out with one which is very similar to another, but the more spinning that you do, the less chance it is that you're going to get exactly the same tweet. It can happen, but it's quite rare. And if you do enough spinning, when you look at all those combinations of possibilities, then it runs into the thousands. And of course, this particular tweet is only going out once per cycle. So it goes through all of my tweets, gets to the end, goes back to the beginning. Now in this particular campaign, I've only got 5 tweets, but normally I have about 20. It just so happens that this particular campaign is promoting products that when I looked at the ClickBank marketplace, there were only about 5 products in there that I really wanted to promote. But if you're using products for a different market, maybe the weight loss industry, there's going to be hundreds of products that you want to promote. So there's no shortage whatsoever. But in this particular case, there are only 5 products that really, really appealed to me. So now what we're going to do next is we're going to have a look at the code that makes this tweet work. It might look complicated, it might look overwhelming to you. Don't worry about that because we've got the SpinAchieve software that's going to do it for us. I just want you to see it so you can understand exactly how nested spinning works compared to just spinning one word. So we'll edit the promotion so I can show you how it works. They wouldn't normally be spread out like this, but I actually spread this one out intentionally so I could show you it more clearly. So I'm going to make this much, much bigger. So this is what's making that tweet work. And in this particular case, I actually took a lot more from the website than I normally would. So all of this was taken from the headline. I got the headline of the product, and then I spun that, give it lots of variations, and that's what I created this particular option from. So this one is the next option, and then this one, then this one. So we can see that we have an open curly bracket. We have something in here, option number 1, and then we have a pipe. Now you can see that we also have curly brackets and pipes inside here, but just ignore those for a moment. That is nested spinning, but we're looking at this at the moment from kind of like stepping back and looking at an overview. So we have open curly bracket, the first option, and then we have a pipe, then the second option, which is all of this, then a pipe, third option, pipe, fourth option, so on and so forth. And I probably chose about 8 or so. I don't normally choose that many. But as you can see, when we get near the bottom, pipe, option, and then closing curly bracket. So this closing curly bracket is closing the one that started this up here. So that is the end of those options. So when this gets published to Twitter, it's going to choose one of those. So we'll get into the rest of the curly brackets and the pipes in just a moment, but I want you to understand that it's choosing just one of those options, and then it's always going to do this little bit at the end. Now this has all got nested spinning inside it as well, but it's going to choose one option from all of these, and then it's going to choose this section here, and it'll always say this. So what this part is at the bottom is basically me saying, check out this video, watch this short presentation, take a look at this this video presentation, that kind of stuff. And then right at the end there, I have my actual affiliate link to this particular product. Now obviously I'm not spinning my link, so whatever it chooses to do, it's always going to have my affiliate link. Now you don't have to make the link clickable or shorten it or anything like that. Just get the link from ClickBank the way they give it to you, copy and paste it in, and the system will shorten it and turn it into a link for you before it gets published to Twitter. So now let's dig into this a little deeper. So let's say if we publish this tweet to Twitter and it happened to choose this option here. So that's the option it's chose. So it's going to do that. It's going to ignore this one, ignore this one, ignore all the others until we get to the closing curly bracket. And then it's also going to do this. So it'll do that piece right at the beginning and it'll do this piece here. But there is spinning in spinning, so there's more options. Now it's always going to say how to. That is always going to be there if it chooses this option. Then it's going to say think like or develop the mind of. Then it will say a millionaire or the mega or super rich or wealthy. So I want you to see how we've got spinning in spinning in spinning here. So if we look at this from the bottom up, you can kind of see how it works. So let's just take this tiny little bit here. This is going to randomly choose either mega or super. Once it's chosen that then gets added to the word the, so that's inside here, we've got that, and then it either chooses rich or wealthy. So it might say the mega rich, just from that little section just there. So it's chosen that instead of saying a millionaire. So we've got how to, maybe it'll choose think like the mega rich. So you can see how it's options within options, and you can do this. This is called nesting, and you can do this as many times as you like. So you can have really quite a lot of variations. Now I know this might look quite difficult to do yourself, and it can get a little bit confusing with all the open and closing brackets. But when we go and have a look at the SpinAchieve software, you'll see how it's very, very easy for you to do this. You just select an option, and then just tick on all of the things that you think would sound good, and it sort of does everything for you. Once it's done it, you come back here and copy and paste. Now that then would go on to say most people don't or will or may never know. So you can see there's lots and lots of options. All of them, all of the variations make sense. This is really, really important. You've got to make sure that any possible tweet that could come from this is something that not only makes sense when you read it, but it's also something that you think might inspire someone to click on that link and go and buy that product. Now, this is the reason that I recommend that you get your tweets from the sales page. The people who have made these sales pages, they're professional copywriters, and they have tested different headlines over and over again and tweaked them until they are perfect. So you just copy that. So just go to the website, look at the headline, just grab it, spin it, and then put it into your campaign. So that's what I've done here. I went and got the headline, and that's what I made all of this from. I got the subheading, and that's what I made all of this from. And then I took some bullet points from the website and made these other things. So we're now going to go over to SpinAchieve, and we're going to do some spinning. So you get to see it all in action. What I've done here, I never used to do this much spinning. It's kind of like, the way I think about this is you only need to do this once. You do the spinning once. You paste what you've spun into here, and then AutoTweet uses that to create your tweets for you forever. So in my opinion, it's worthwhile putting a bit of effort into this. Do a good job of it. Put in a lot of variations, because once you're done, you're done. Once you paste your tweet into here, you've never got to think about it or look at it again. It is totally passive. An AutoTweet is going to start publishing that tweet to Twitter in a loop with all of your other tweets in your campaign forever, for the rest of your life and beyond that. So in my opinion, it's worth doing a good job, spending a bit of time, getting a lot of variations, making sure they all sound really good and they read right. If you do a bad job right now, just to cut down on a little bit of time, maybe you want to knock these out in the next 5 minutes and you do them very quickly and you make some mistakes, then you're replicating those mistakes over and over again forever. But if you spend maybe 45 minutes or an hour making sure you do a really good job of this, then what you're sending out to Twitter is much more likely to turn into sales. So I really can't emphasize that enough. It's do the work once, get paid forever. So do a good job and get paid a lot more. Makes so much sense. Now, I'd say 30 or 45 minutes is enough time for you to do several of these. Not just one of them, but for you to do several. It is really easy. Copy, paste, spin, and then just pop it into here. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to go back to this tweet. So it was this one. And I'm going to look at a couple of examples, and we are going to spin one of the examples. So I'm not going to go over to the actual sales page for this product. Right, we are going to, I'm going to take this one. Do this short quiz to find out if you are destined to be successful. Let's imagine that when you looked at this product and you decided, yeah, I want to promote this product, it looks pretty good. Let's imagine that that I have highlighted was the headline on the sales page. So you grabbed that, you copied it. So I'm just going to copy that now. So that's now on my clipboard. And I'm going to pop over to Spinner Chief. And I'm going to pop it into here. So I'll paste it in. So this that we've got into here is one example of a possible tweet that we could use to promote this product. So the way I'm going to do this now is using the auto spin option. And to do that, you just click on this button. So we'll click that. I'll leave the settings as they are. And bearing in mind, I am on free mode, so this is not going to be great, but it spins it for me. And then we can have a look at what it's come up with to see whether or not we're happy with it. So we've got do this, do that, or try this short quiz. So do that doesn't really make sense, does it? Do that short quiz? You wouldn't say that. So I remove any that I don't think are perfect. I want this to be perfect. So just click inside the curly brackets of that option. And down here, it tells you the ones that it's selected for you. And you can untick the one you don't like. So I can say, try this short quiz. That makes sense. Do this short quiz. That makes sense. Let's have a look at some of these. None of those are any good, so I'll leave that. To find out, to discover, to learn, to determine, all of those are great, so we'll leave those in. If I click in there, it's going to give us some more as well. So to uncover, to understand, I'm not very keen on those. If you are, in case you are, should you be, so I don't like those. So I'll click in here. If you are destined to be rich, I tell you what, I don't like the way it did this little bit here, so I'm going to uncheck these. So we're back down to what we had originally now. So we've got here, if you are destined to be, that's what we've got now. So I'm going to put, if you are, I can change that to if you're, and destined to be, all of that there that I've just selected, if you are destined to be, I can have if you're gonna, and then be rich. So you're gonna could be in there in place of what we have. So I've selected what I want to put in as my my option, my spin. There are no options available down here. I'm sure if I was paying for it, there'd be lots of them. But I'm going to type in an option here. So I'm going to type you're gonna, like that, and add it. So we can see what we've got here now. We've got do this short quiz to find out if you're gonna be successful, or if you are destined to be successful. So both of those work. Now the word gonna, we can select that, and we can have in its place, make sure I've got that selected, going to, like that, which is obviously what gonna is short for. So there we go. So I want to zoom in on this and show you what we've done. So we've done some nested spinning. So we've got the option of gonna or going to, and that is matched up with your. So we've got you're gonna or you're going to be rich. You're going to be rich, you're going to be rich. So they both work. Now you might have noticed that separating our options, we have pipes as we discussed before, but the system has put this extra pipe in here. So we've got option 1, option 2, option 2 up to there, and then there is actually an option 3 there. Now, if this was published to Twitter and it chose option 3, then it would be nothing at all. So it would say, if you're find out if you're be rich. It would miss out the gonna or going to, and that would make no sense. That's wrong. This is a fault with this software. But don't worry about it at all, because I know it does this. So when you add these into your auto tweet campaign, I automatically detect these and delete them for you. So that is a problem with the software. It does have some other areas as well, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But don't worry about that. If you noticed it and you thought, hang on, there's an extra one of those pipes in here, is this going to cause a problem? It won't cause a problem, because my software, it searches for these and it fixes them. So don't worry about that at all. That won't cause any issues. Let's zoom back out. So if you're gonna be successful, effective, prosperous. So successful, effective, and prosperous. I don't like effective. So successful, prosperous, rich. We'll pop rich in there. So we'll put in rich, and then I'm going to just select the word rich, and I'm going to change that for wealthy, abundant, loaded. That's a nice one. I wouldn't have thought of that. If you're going to be loaded, right? Or I'm going to pop in here mega rich, and I'm going to add that one in manually. So you see, we've now got quite a lot of options, and because we've gone through it quite carefully, we know that any variation of this is going to work. So this is now ready to us to go and paste into the system. So the way that we do this, we'll select all of that, copy it. So Command and C if you're on Mac, or Control and C if you're on Windows. So I'm on Mac, so Command and C. That's now on my clipboard. Now I will go back to my promotions. I'm going to go back to my actual promotions, and I'm going to add a new promotion. Now, I'm going to paste this in like so. That's one option that we've now spun using SpinAchieve. But I don't want just one option for the products I'm promoting. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pop in a curly bracket. That's one option. And I'm gonna space this out because it makes it much easier to see what is going on. And then down here, I'm gonna pop in my pipe like that. And then I would have another option here. I could have another pipe. I can have as many of these I like. I'm just gonna have 3, and then I would have my closing curly bracket. So when this gets published to Twitter, it's either going to say a tweet which is generated from that code, or it's going to say this bunch of X's or this bunch of X's. So obviously we want to put another one in there as well. So what I would now do is go back to the sales page. I'd grab something else from the sales page, maybe a subheading or a bullet point. I'd paste that into SpinAchieve, and I would do exactly the same process. Let's imagine that this is the code from our second tweet. Obviously it's exactly the same as the first one, but I'll just copy it. I would come into here and I would paste it in like that. Then I'd go and get a third one, exactly the same process again. I'd paste that in, and I would probably do 4 or 5. So when this is published to Twitter, it is either going to choose option 1, which will be a random tweet based on this, option 2, a random tweet based on that, or option 3, a random tweet based on this one. And of course, each one of those would be completely different. So one of them could be the headline of the product, the next one could be the subheading, the next one could be the bullet point. Now we've ended our options. Now, as I said before, if you don't know how to get these curly brackets or these pipes, just do your first option like this, and then just copy the curly bracket from here, just to select it, copy and paste it up there. Press enter a few times to give yourself some room. But if you spread it out like this, it's really easy to understand what's going on. So opening curly bracket, and then the spin that you got from SpinAchieve, and then the pipe, and then the other options that you want to put in there. And make sure you put in your ending curly bracket as well. So now that we've got that, obviously what we need next would be our affiliate link for that particular product. So your affiliate link, whatever it's going to be, make sure you put the HTTP in as well. So you would get your affiliate link from, oops, I'm pressing completely the wrong button. So let's imagine that your affiliate link is something like this. Okay, let's imagine that that is your affiliate link. If you're using a ClickBank affiliate link, obviously it's not going to look anything like that, but you would get your affiliate link and you would copy and paste it at the end. Now, what I think's quite a good idea to do, make sure you've got a space before your affiliate link, because if you hadn't, if this is but right up close to this, then once it's done all of the processing, it's going to be touching the end of your tweet, and then it's not going to be a clickable link. So make sure that after the last closing curly bracket, there is a space, at least one space. What you might like to do is a space, a hyphen, and another space like that. So it's kind of like presenting the link after a hyphen. That looks quite good. Now, as I said, that will get turned into a clickable link when it's published to Twitter, and it will also shorten it for you as well. So this is how you do spinning within spinning. It looks more complicated than it is, but you just go and take something from the website that you think would be a good tweet. You spin it, and then you come into here and put it in as your first option. You could just leave it at that, but I personally like to do lots and lots of options. And as I said before, you're only doing the work once, and then auto tweet is taking what you do in here in the next few minutes, the next half an hour or so, and it's going to use that to make money for you forever. So I say do a good job. Spend a bit of time doing this. It's a good investment. So once you've done that, we're not going to be talking about images or anything like that on this particular video. There are lots more videos which will talk about where you get your affiliate products from and how you add images and all those kind of things. But I just want you to understand the way that the spinning works. So what we now need to do before we close is fixing the errors. So I've already told you about one of these. There's only one more that I need really to bring to your attention. One of the errors is when it puts in that extra pipe. I fixed that for you automatically, so don't worry about it at all. I did want to tell you about it because if you notice it, you might worry about it. But the other error that happens on here as well is when you select the first option, which is the beginning of your tweet, obviously it's going to need a capital letter. But when I click in here, you'll see that these options down here, none of them are capitalized when you tick them. So if I tick that one, and now do that is an option, but as you can see, it's a lowercase d, which is not good. So you want to just pop yourself in there and fix that. So do be aware that it doesn't capitalize correctly when you are spinning the first word of your tweet. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. But that's about it. I haven't really bumped into any more errors or problems on this software, but do be aware that it can produce a spin when you press the auto spin button that is terrible. And you'll do your spin and you'll just think, this makes no sense. If that's the case, edit it, change things, delete it, manually do your spin by entering the content in here. Because if it's not a good spin, then people who are reading that tweet on Twitter are very, very unlikely to click on the link and have a look at the product. So it just looks like spam. So make sure every single variation that it could be reads really well. So what I tend to do is when I do these, I do one option and then I read through, and I always read over a couple of options. And I read every variation it could be just to make sure it always works right. Now, the things that sometimes catch you out is words like an and a before a word that has or hasn't got a vowel. So that really can catch you out. And then if you get the wrong one in your spin, it just sounds completely wrong when that is published to Twitter. So make sure you correct any errors that you find. And sometimes it just means that you've got to say something in a different way because you can't kind of change it, you can't fix it, so you just have to use a different word in those situations. So there we go. Just before I shut down this video, I will say again that when you're spinning in here, if I just click like that, what this is going to spin is everything inside the curly brackets that I'm currently in. So this is going to spin more options for all of that. If I click the cursor anywhere in there, it will do more options for all of this. Similarly, if I click in here, it's going to do more options for this section. So the first set of options that were inside So we've got spins within spins, but if I click inside one, it kind of like spreads out in both directions until it meets a curly bracket at each end. And then when we go in there, what it's going to do is add more options to this. But if I select a word by dragging my cursor over it, then it's only going to spin that one word. So to give you a quick example, if I wanted to change to discover to find out, I can select discover by itself. Let me just zoom back out. And I can type in here find out and click on add. And now you will see that it's created another little nested spin. So now we have discover or find out will be chosen, and that is just inside these two curly brackets. So when it decides to choose that as one of its options, it then has to have a second decision as to which of those two it's going to choose inside. So in this particular case, we have from here to here. Those are some options. So it's either going to say to find out, to learn, to determine, or it's going to say to and then discover or find out again. I've got find out in there already. Look, I didn't notice that I had. But you can see how that works. So you either select a word. If you just want to spin one word or a phrase, you can select more than one word. That's perfectly okay. So I don't think I've got many places. Find out if you are destined. So I can change. I could say you are destined. I could change that to you're likely, couldn't I? Doesn't work very well, but I could say find out if you're likely. Let's add that in. We'll zoom in again. Now it will say find out if you are destined, or find out if you're likely to. It's to is going to be printed, but not this bit here, because that is a variation of that section. And then to be rich, or to be mega rich, or wealthy, or loaded, or whatever it might be. So that is kind of nested spinning. It's spinning within spinning. And I really have to admit that it does look much more complicated when I show you it like this than it is to do. But when you start doing this and you play around with it, you'll find that it's a lot easier than it looks on this video. But what you're going to be doing most of the time, if I just paste, let me just go back over here, and I'm going to go back to my promotions, and back into a promotion. I'll take this one for a change. So we'll have a look at our promotions, and I'm going to view one of these. So we'll spin that. These are just affirmations for people interested in the law of attraction. So my affirmation there is, I am a powerful and unlimited being of light having a human experience. So there we go. Let's pop back over here, and we'll paste that in. So what you're usually going to be doing is you'll have your tweet inside there. You'll click auto spin like that. That's going to spin it, and then as I said before, you're just going to go through and check it, but you'll just be selecting a word, and then you'll just be ticking on these boxes for anything that would be a good substitute for that word, or you'll be selecting a phrase, and then you'll be doing the same thing. Being of light is not going to have any variations for it, but if it's not, you can just type them in yourself. So once you've done that, obviously you then, as we said before, you just copy and paste the entire thing and pop it in, making sure that you have your open curly brackets, your options, and then your pipes. So option, pipe, option, pipe, option, closing curly bracket, and then make sure you put in a space, then have your affiliate link for whatever product you're promoting. I mean, obviously you're not always going to be promoting a product. Sometimes you're just going to be saying an affirmation or a quote or something like that. But that is the way that spinning works. Get into Spin Achieve, have a bit of a play with it and see what it comes up with, and just fiddle around, and you'll find that it's actually very, very easy to do. But as I said right at the beginning of this video, I consider it to be the secret source of passive income, because you do this just over the next 30 or 45 minutes. You can have quite a few of these done, and you can actually set up an entire campaign in less than an hour, and then AutoTweet will publish the promotions inside that campaign, like the tweets inside that campaign, to your Twitter account forever. And every time it comes around to the same tweet again, it's going to be different. So you're not risking your Twitter account being suspended. There's no duplicate content. And you are promoting your affiliate links 100% passively forever. Spinning really is an incredibly powerful, useful, and very lucrative little tool for creating your passive income. So that's the end of this video. Please watch the rest of the videos in the training. You might need to watch this one again. Maybe you want to go through a little bit more slowly, pause it, maybe make some notes as you go through. But I would recommend just jumping in and giving it a go. Just go over to the software that is on SpinAchieve. Get an affirmation or get a headline from a product and paste it in and just spin it with the automatic button and see what happens, and just play with the manual spinning options as well and see what you can come up with. Have a little bit of a play with it. You'll get used to it very quickly. It will feel familiar and then it will feel comfortable. And then in the future, when you're creating your campaigns, you'll be able to do this process really, really very quickly. But make sure you do it right, because you only got to do the work once and it's going to make money for you for the rest of your life and beyond. So take care, have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.